everyone, it's Maddie. I feel the need to review this book because it was hella rad. It was so great. I should probably tell you what book it is. Extraordinary Means by Robyn Schneider. Oh my gosh. I've been gushing about like every book I read lately, but I just read really good books. It's not a problem. I don't have the problem of reading bad books. Recently I've been on a contemporary kick. During the summer I read so many contemporaries and so many great contemporaries. I was so happy to have read all the phenomenal books, because why spend your life reading non-phenomenal books? Spend your life reading all the phenomenal cheesy romances you want. I don't care if anyone thinks it's cheesing, you read that book. You read it. You read that book, and you read it good. So I picked this book up because I saw the trailer on YouTube on Robyn Schneider's channel, and I fell in love with it because book trailers are usually not very good, as you can see from most of the book trailers out there. But this book trailer was not directed by the publishing company. Oh no, this was directed by one of my favorite YouTube directors ever, Yulin Kwang. Oh my goodness gracious. She's so talented. She has a series on YouTube called I Didn't Write This, and it's basically where she adapts odes or poems or stories and novels. She has adaptations of very small snippets from To All the Boys I Loved Before and Fangirl. They're so great. Robyn enlisted the help of Yulin to make the Extraordinary Means book trailer. I'm gonna link it down here because it's so great. It gives off a very The Fault in Our Stars-y vibe, but I don't mind because I really like The Fault in Our Stars. So going into this, I was like, alright, I'm prepared for John Green, and I got a little bit of John Green, but less pretension than John Green. This book follows a boy named Lane and a girl named Sadie, and it's dual POVs, which is really great. Lane and Sadie are both residents at Latham House. Lane is a brand new resident, and Sadie has been a resident for almost a year and a half. Latham House is a sanatorium, which means you get shipped off there if you have a disease to wait out the duration of the disease and hope that you recover. They have a disease called TB, which is tuberculosis. Now that's a known disease, very curable now, but in this it's like an AU where there's an alternate strain of tuberculosis that is developed that is resistant to all medicine. That's just so scary to me. Diseases that have been gone for a while are cropping up recently, like measles had an outbreak in California and polio had an outbreak, and it's really scary. This book was so great. The kids in it were so relatable. Lane is my spirit animal. Like, everything he was saying I felt and took it to my core. He was the top of his class. He had his whole life planned out. He had all these AP classes he was gonna take. He had to drop certain classes he loved to take the AP classes to get the top of the class. I just felt so hardcore for him because that's exactly how I am. I'm dropping classes to get the highest grades possible so I can get the honors diploma, so I can go to the greatest college I can go to. I've learned that I need to let loose. He learned that he needed to let loose too, and I think that's a really big part of growing up. It's when you see that what you thought was going to happen doesn't always pan out, and sometimes what is unexpected is better than what was expected. Sadie was very likable too. Both of the characters had really good backstories. I really enjoyed learning about Lane's like uptightness and Sadie's insecurities, because her insecurities were not insane or overblown for a teenager, but they were exactly what a teenager would feel. Teenagers, especially girls, go through the feeling of inadequacy. We feel that we have to conform to standards presented to us by the media. Sadie felt this way for the longest time because she wasn't what you would normally call cool. I completely understand that, because even though it seems trivial, it's so real. We worry about being cool. It happens, and it's stupid to worry about, but we do it anyway. I really enjoyed the writing in this as well. Right before this, I had read Frankenstein and Things Fall Apart for my school reads, and they were very like heavy, dense texts because they were classics, and that's just how classics are written. But this was so easy, and I just flew through it very quickly. It was a very nice change. The kids in this book are Tumblr trash, and I'm Tumblr trash. I appreciated it so much because they kept making Tumblr jokes, and they kept making Harry Potter jokes. These people would be my people. If they were real, they would be my people. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, like a 97% on my scale. It was just a really awesome contemporary, and I really want to read more of Robyn Schneider's work because it was great. It touched me, and it made me cry, but it made me laugh, it made me smile, and it made me want to change. It made me want to stop over planning my life and do something spontaneous, and I need a certain degree of spontaneity in my life, and I don't have that. This really made me realize that I need to do that. That is the end of the non-spoiler section. If you have not read this book, I would urge you to go and read it and then come back so we can discuss it because it was quite good. Hello, spoiler friends. If you read this book, you know who dies. I was totally expecting Lane to die because I was like, oh, this kid has all these futures and ambitions, so she's probably gonna throw us off and kill him off. But I was wrong. It was actually Sadie who died, and she died in a very John Green type fashion. Instead of going through the death and talking about it, they go from the last time that they talked to she died on a Friday. For Fault in Our Stars, I think it's he died the next day, or he died 2 weeks later. It seems like it'd be less impactful because you don't see them die, but it is very impactful because you realize that death isn't this huge buildup of a thing. It happens, and in an instant someone's life is over. It's something so subtle that completely crashes your life. It made me cry, and my dad walked by my room as I was reading this, and he like stopped, and I had tears running down my face, and I was like, it's sad. Please stop judging me. Okay, from the beginning, I knew that he hadn't sent her those mean letters. I knew for a fact it was those girls from the camp, and so when she was unnecessarily being rude to him like 5 years later, I was like, fam, no, just do it. Just go with the flow. I loved to see their relationship budding and all the friendships budding. I laughed out loud and I cried. Some of the jokes were cracking me up. There was one part where they were talking about coffee versus tea.
Well, it's like bean water versus leaf water. Bean water, espresso shots are being fired in the drinks fandom.
These kids are so Tumblr. I love it. They said the things that you would post on Tumblr out loud. And my favorite thing about this book was that Sadie had an aesthetic blog on Tumblr. She was so real. They were so real to me. That's what made me so happy, because I have the same kind of humor as these kids did. I have the same kind of lifestyle that Lane does, and I have a Tumblr like Sadie does, and I care about looking cool sometimes like Sadie does, and I was just so happy to be able to relate so well to some YA characters. They weren't pretentious, and they weren't automatically kick butt like YA protagonists in dystopians. They were utterly normal, minus the TB. I loved it when they went to the movie night and they dressed up in their fancy outfits and they got to have their mini homecoming that he'd never had. And I loved when they snuck out and went to the town and got Starbucks and butterbeer lattes. I don't even like coffee, but I want to go out and order a butterbeer latte for the sake of trying a butterbeer latte because it sounds so great and I want to try it. I really enjoyed the friend group too. I loved Nick. I thought he was very funny and problematic, but funny. And Charlie was so heartbreaking. I also really liked how diverse the friend group is. Yes, the two main characters are straight white teenagers, but they have a friend who's African American, a friend who's Indian. Charlie isn't any race different, but he's gay, and I loved seeing this like mix of characters together who hung out. As the people slowly started to die off in the group, I was just like, oh no, please stop. By the end of it, when they found the cure for TB, I was like, oh, thank God. I really hope this happens one day for cancer, and we find a cure for cancer, and all the kids who have cancer can smile and hug each other and be happy that they'll be able to spend the rest of their lives on this planet and like pursue their dreams, because I cannot imagine having to put all of my life and dreams on hold for a disease. If you've read this book, tell me down below in the comments what you thought and we can discuss it. I really enjoyed it, and I really want to read more of Robyn Schneider's work, and I want to write something like this where the characters are relatable and they pull emotions out of you, because I laughed, I cried, I smiled, and I felt so much for these characters because I believed in them. They were so me, and I loved it. I hope you enjoyed this book as much as I did. If you did, tell me down below. We can discuss it. If you know any books that are similar to this, please let me know. Not The Fault in Our Stars, because I know The Fault in Our Stars is similar to this. Please don't let me know that, because I know it is, and I've read The Fault in Our Stars. So, I'm Maddie. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!